So, Akanksha Jha, good evening. Ritu Yadav, Akanksha Gharana, Satakshi, Gagandeep, Karan Sinha, Gauri Babu, Disa, Swecha Singh, Manjeet Kumar, Disa. Good evening, good evening. Disa, because I teach from a studio. This is in my house. I have met one studio in my house. So, good evening to you all. Good evening. Meenakshi Dikshit, namaskar, namaskar, namaskar. Okay, Disa. Okay, okay. I have one studio in my house. Himanshu, recorded lecture you will get. Some technical works are going on. And after some time you will assess these recorded lectures. Okay, as I have told you that in this class we'll do critical reasoning and comprehension. Okay, so in this class we'll do critical reasoning and comprehension. And why I am doing critical reasoning? Because before 2015, they generally asked question from critical reasoning independently. But 2015 onwards, the pattern of comprehension have changed. And basically, comprehension, passage, and question is more like critical reasoning questions. Because earlier, before 2015, there were 7-8 comprehensions in the paper, and they were long passage, and based on that 4-5 questions were there. But now 2015 onwards, they basically give very short passage, maybe consisting of 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs, and based on that generally they ask one question, and format of the question is critical reasoning type question. So that's why they are not asking independently questions from critical reasoning. They are mixing critical reasoning with comprehension. They mix basically critical reasoning with comprehension. Mohit Verma, please check your net connection. I am audible, I think. Okay. So before coming to this comprehension part, first we'll do critical reasoning, and we'll try to understand. The basics of critical reasoning, how we do critical reasoning, what we see in the passage, and then which type of questions are asked, and how we'll attempt those questions. What could be the wrong option? That we'll understand in this. Okay. So critical reasoning, you can see that this is a part of comprehension nowadays. Okay. So critical reasoning is part of comprehension. No Mukul Gupta, no. Rarunath Chauhan, please check your net connection. I think my voice is okay. I am audible. I think I am audible. Okay. So the topic is critical reasoning. Critical reasoning, as I have told you, critical reasoning is now mixed with comprehension nowadays. Okay, so to start with, first we'll understand argument structure. Argument structure, argument basically we generally call short passage as argument. And in argument, what we have to see, we see the structure of the argument, means what are the components of the argument. That we will try to find. So first we understand the component of argument. Okay. So generally in an argument, you can see four things. That is, we call premise, we call counter point or counter premise, then we call then conclusion, and fourth one is background. So these are the components of an argument. Sunny Mehta, around 25 to 30. Bharonath Chauhan, I am audible. Please check your net connection. I am audible. Please check your net connection. Yes, Priya. Yes. I have told you in the beginning itself that critical reasoning is part of comprehension now. Okay. So these are the components of an argument: premise, counterpoint or counter premise, conclusion, and background. So these are components of an argument. As I have told you, an argument is a short passage. Now I have given you this typical argument which contains all the components. Okay. And generally in an argument, all these components are there, but not always you see that an argument contains all these components. So in this particular argument, all the components are there. So try to identify the components. Try to identify the argument, because this argument consists of 4 sentences, and each sentence represents a particular component. Premise means what? Premise is the base for conclusion or evidence for conclusion. Background is what? Background will give you context to understand an argument. And counterpoint or counterpoint premise is that is basically that basically opposes or goes against the conclusion in some way or other way. So you have to find which sentence is premise, which sentence is counterpoint or counter premise, which sentence is conclusion, and which sentence is background in this particular argument. The basic method is first you find conclusion, then try to find other sentences which will support the conclusion. The sentences which are supporting the conclusion are premises, and the sentences which are opposing the conclusion are counter premises. And background is nothing but they will provide some context, some intro to understand the argument. Okay, I hope you understand this. Akanksha premise is those information which support the conclusion, which support the conclusion. Raj Rajput, try to understand. I have told you an argument is a short passage, and there are some components. While an author write an argument, some components are incorporated in that argument. Author makes some claim or some conclusion. Okay, and to support that, author gives some evidences. Those evidences are called premises. So the evidences which support the conclusion or claim of the author are basically premises. Premises means support. On support you have to find. Premises means support. Support to what? Support to conclusion. And counter premise is basically what? Counter premise opposes the conclusion. Counter premise opposes the conclusion. Generally, author write other view also, which are basically against the conclusion of the argument. So the sentences or evidences which opposes the conclusion are basically counter premise. And background means that will be like an introduction or preface or preamble to understand the argument. You'll write everything about counterpoint, conclusion, premise. I have given some points later on, so don't worry. First, tell me out of this argument which sentence represent conclusion, which sentence represent premise, which sentence represent counter premise, and which sentence represent background, because this argument contains all the components. There are 4 sentences in this. Akanksha Gharana, your answer is correct. Pooja Benibal, again look into the argument. I think you are correct in some of the sentences, but you are not correct with some of other sentences. Ashish Korean correct, Akanksha Jha correct, Kirti Goyal correct, Tanya Sri correct one, Satakshi not correct. Yes, this is the first slide. Ayaz Khan. Kirti Goyal correct. Deepak Kushwaha, I have repeated so many times. Okay, but don't worry. After some time, you will understand. No issue. Have patience. No, Anubhav Sharma. No. Charmi Korea, correct one. Akshit Rohila, correct one. Disha, correct one. Kirti Goyal, correct one. Dibyanshu Gupta and Mitendra Kumar, not correct. Akash Pawar, not correct. Yes, Akanksha Jha. Akash Keshav, no. You have confused with premise and counter premise, I think. You are confused with premise and counter premise. Please check Akash Keshav. Risa, correct one. Neha, again you are confused with premise and counter premise. Raj Rajput, what you have written? Apurva Singh, correct one. For full Rajput, I think you are confused between premise and counter premise. Anjali Yadav, oh, okay. No. Your ordering is not correct. Okay, stop. See, the expansion of the runway at the Patna airport will allow for larger plane to travel to and from Patna city. These new planes will create a large amount of noise, a nuisance for residents who live near the airport. And third sentence is, however, many of the residents in this neighborhood work in construction and the contract to expand the runway has been awarded to a local construction company. Thus, the expansion of the runway will lead to an increased quality of life for the residents of this neighborhood. So after thus, whatever you see is conclusion. So sentence 4 is conclusion. I am writing here, sentence 4 is conclusion. So first you have to find conclusion. So sentence 4 is conclusion. Now try to find premise. Premise is that which support this conclusion. Now you can see the third sentence. Many of the residents in this neighborhood work in construction and the contract to expand the runway has been awarded to a local construction company. Means some employment will be there. Some employment will be there in the neighborhood. So that this sentence third support the conclusion. So sentence third is premise. Sentence third is premise. Now you see second sentence, these new planes will create a large amount of noise, a nuisance for residents who live near the airport. This sentence goes against the conclusion. So that's why sentence 2 is counter premise, or you can say counterpoint. And now you see the first sentence, the expansion of the runway at the Patna airport will allow for larger planes to travel to and from Patna city. This create a background. This create a background for this argument. This first sentence create a background, or just like an intro, So sentence 1 is background. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. So the basic is, first identify the conclusion in the passage. Once you find the conclusion, then you find supporting sentences. Then you find supporting sentences. Supporting sentences are premise. Then you find opposing sentences. Those sentences which oppose the conclusion in some way or other way. So those opposing sentences are counter premise, or you can say counterpoint. And then you look for those sentences which gives an intro, or which make a case for the argument. That is basically background. That is basically background for the passage. Shefali Narayan, I have explained again. So first you identify the conclusion, then find the supporting sentences. Those supporting sentences will be premises. Then find opposing sentences. Those sentences which oppose the conclusion will be counterpoint. Then find the background, those intro lines which help you understand the argument, why this argument. So background will create some intro for the argument. Akanksha Jha, whatever you write or any author write, author is trying to make some conclusion or trying to make some claim. For that, author gives some support. Yes, Parag Bhosle, background is basically context. Background provide context to understand the argument, to understand the passage. Basically, Akanksha, any short passage is argument. We are trying to understand the structure. Structure means component we are trying to understand. Because whatever you write or I write or any author write, what we do, we make some conclusion or we make some claim, and for that we give some support or some evidence or some examples, or sometimes we give other views also. So that passage is like an argument. Premise is support for the conclusion. Ravi Pandey, premise is support for the conclusion. I hope you understand. Okay, now having said about the components, now I am coming to the core of an argument, or you can say core of a passage, or you can say argument. What makes core of an argument? Mitendra, you sent the answer in Dhruv sir profile. Okay. So what makes the core of a passage? Because core is very important. See, premise and conclusion. This is called core of an argument. Because premises lead to conclusion. Okay. So premises and conclusion make core of an argument. Premises and conclusion make core of an argument. One more thing I am introducing here, assumption. See, premises will be written in the passage, or you can say in the argument. Conclusion will be there in argument. So an author try to conclude something with the help of premises and some assumption. An author try to prove conclusion with the help of some premises and some assumption. Assumption is unstated thing, hidden thing, that is something to be assumed by the author, and through which and premises author come to conclusion. So in a way, you can say premise plus assumption. Premise plus assumption lead to conclusion. Lead to conclusion. So premise plus assumption lead to conclusion, but assumption is not written in the passive. Assumption is not written in the argument. Assumption is something hidden, unstated, that is something to be assumed by the author. That is something to be assumed by the author. So premises plus assumption lead to conclusion. I repeat again, premises plus assumption lead to conclusion, and assumption is unstated thing. Assumption is unstated thing. Unstated thing, or you can say hidden thing. Or that is something to be assumed by the author. That is something to be assumed by the author to reach at conclusion with the help of premises. With the help of premises. For example, I am giving one example of assumption. Just see. Example is very simple example. I say that this car is red. This car is red. And this car does not belong to Manoj. Now I have told you that this car is red and this car does not belong to Manoj. Obviously, the second sentence is my conclusion and first sentence is premise. What I have assumed in this? I have assumed something. So what I have assumed, that is not written here, but I have assumed. Tell me what is the assumption here? Ashish Gorian, your answer is correct. Risa, your answer is correct. Upendala, no. Naveen Rai, correct one. Obviously, Khushbu Jinder, car is there. That is not assumption. Car is there. Purba Singh, correct one. Anvesa Das, correct one. What is my assumption? Just I want to see how you identify assumption. What I have assumed. Akanksha, this car does not belong to Manoj is my conclusion. Is my conclusion. I am asking for assumption. What is assumption? So many answers are coming. No, Divyanshu Gupta, no. Dipanshu Kumar, you are correct. Meenakshi Dixit, in this argument, I have not talked about the liking of Manoj, which color Manoj likes. I have talked about the color of car. Rishi Pandey, correct one. Ashwati Raj, no assumption. No, some assumption is there. See, as I have told you, assumption is not written in the argument, not written in the passage. That is hidden thing, that is unstated thing. You have to find what author has assumed, what author has assumed to reach at conclusion with the help of premises. In this example, first sentence is premise, and second sentence is conclusion. Meenakshi Dikshit, now you are correct. Shivani Meena, wait. Okay. See, I am the author for this example, and I have written this car is red, and this car does not belong to Manoj. My assumption is that Manoj's car color is not red, and that is assumed by me. So assumption is here. Manoj car is not red. That is the assumption. So the first sentence, this car is red, and the assumption lead to conclusion. This car is red and Manoj's car is not red. Lead to what? This car does not belong to Manoj. I hope now you understand. No, many answers are coming. I have gone through the answer. I have not taken the names. Many answers are coming. In fact, all the answers are coming. I hope now you understand what is assumption. I hope you understand now. So here sentence 1 is premise and plus assumption, which I have written. Assumption lead to conclusion. And what is conclusion? What is conclusion? Conclusion is the car does not belong to Manoj. Vibhuti, I am talking about the particular car. Obviously. Okay, next example I am giving you. Try to understand. If you enter a train compartment, and you see the notice like this, don't smoke here. You see like this. You see a notice like this. Don't smoke here. Now, obviously, due to order of some higher official or due to some decision of management of railway, that notice is there. Just if you enter the compartment, you see the notice. Now tell me, what is the assumption of the management of the railway behind the notice at that particular place? I repeat again, the notice is there, don't smoke here. My question is, what is the assumption of the authority behind putting that particular notice there? See, always remember, assumption is probable thing, general thing. Assumption is not exactly, you can say, assumption with certainty. Assumption is always probable thing. Unity other, smoking is injurious to health. That is not the assumption of the official. Okay, I'm going through all the assumptions which you are writing. See, you don't have to say about the consequence or conclusion like smoking is injurious or it may cause fire. For fire, some other notices are there. Some other notices are there. See, you can see also like this notice, smoking is prohibited. Prohibited. You can see notice like this. I'm just asking the asking for assumption of the authority behind putting this notice there. Okay, hundreds of answers are there. Okay, many answers are close to the correct answer. Many answers are close to the correct answer. So many answers are coming, so I cannot take the names. I'm just going through the answers. Okay, I am writing the assumption. I am writing the assumption of the officials. Of the officials. See, I am asking for assumption of the authority. Some people have written here consequences. I am not asking about consequences. I am asking about assumption. So I am writing assumptions here. Two assumptions I am writing. Generally, people smoke there. That's why that notice is there. That's why that notice is there. And second assumption of the authority is it will deter some people to not smoke there. To not smoke in the area. So these are the two assumptions. These are the two assumptions of the authority. Generally, people smoke there. That's why that notice is there. And second, it will deter some people to not smoke in the area. In that area, you can write in that area. Because I have written some people. This is assumption. This is assumption. It will not deter all the people. Some people will smoke, they will pay fine. So it will deter some people to not smoke in that area. Yes, Akash Babar, it's like that. It will deter some people. It will deter some people to not smoke in that area because it will not deter all the people. Some people will pay fine and will smoke. Akash Babar, I have told you assumption is probable thing. Assumption is of general kind. Assumption is not like you can say with certainty. Yes, Neha, yes. Yes, Muhammad. Yes. Divyansu Gupta, assumption should be connected also. Assumption should be connected also. Yes, Mukul Gupta, you have to think always from author side. No, Isika Sonal. Karan Sinha, their option will be given. Their option will be given. Anand Malla, what you are asking? Himanshu, what you are asking? Okay, now enough for assumption. Now you can understand what is assumption. Now, how to identify premise or counter premise or background or conclusion in a passage or in an argument. So some hints are given. Some hints I have written here. Please note that, or you can take the screenshot. Himanshu, you don't need to write. Options will be there. Out of the option, you have to choose. Okay. So you can see like this. I have written here. It's written like this. How to identify premise, conclusion, background, or counterpoint in a passage or in an argument. So to start with, you can concentrate on premise. You can see part of the core of the argument. Core, now you understand, premise and conclusion make the core. So part of the core, premise, present in every argument. In any passage, you see premise. Support the author's conclusion, obviously. Premise support the author's conclusion. And fourth point I have written here, often signaled by words or phrases such as because of, since, due to, and as a result of. So through this, you can identify premise in a passage or in an argument. So these are the points. This will help you identifying the premises. Second, I have written here some points about conclusion. Again, part of the core. Obviously, premise and conclusion make the core of an argument. Present in most of the argument. I have written here most, not all the argument. Why most? Because conclusion will be missing from those passages or those arguments where in question they will ask for conclusion. What you can conclude from the above argument or what you can infer from the above passage. In question like this, there will be no conclusion in the passage. You have to conclude, you have to infer. So in those passages where you have to find the conclusion, that is the question, then conclusion will be missing from the passage. That's why I've written present in most arguments. Is supported by at least one premise. Obviously, conclusion must be supported by at least one premise. And fourth point I have written, often signaled by words such as therefore, thus, so, consequently. So through these points, you can identify conclusion. These points will help you identifying the conclusion. Next is about background. Not part of the code. Background is not part of the code. Often present, but not always. Often present in the argument, in the passage, but not always. And third point I have written here, provide context to help understand the core. Provide context to help understand the core means provide context to understand the argument. Understanding core means understanding argument. So background provide context to help understand the core. So this will help you identifying the background of a passage or of an argument. Next is counterpoint. Not part of the core, only present occasionally. Obviously, counterpoint is not a part of the core. only present occasionally means in some passage you will find counterpoint, opposes or goes against the author's conclusion in some way or other way. In some way or other way. And fourth point is often signaled by words such as however, yet, and but. So these are the some points through which you can identify the components of a passage. See, without understanding the component, you cannot answer the question, because question will not be that much easy. You have to identify the component. Why we identify the component? We try to understand the passage by identifying the components. I hope you have written or you have taken the screenshot. No, Garima Khatri, only one conclusion will be there. Only one final conclusion will be there. Okay. Okay, I hope you have written now. Now I am discussing the type of question or problems which are asked. Type of problems and how to attempt those problems, how to identify the best option, type of problem. So the all type of problems have been grouped under two categories. Grouped under two categories. The first category is called Akanksha Jain, no issue. Akanksha Jha, sorry, no issue. No issue. Basic method is same. Basic method is same, Akanksha Jain. Okay, I have told you the problems come under two categories. The first category is called assumption family. Assumption family questions. Assumption family questions. Assumption family questions means while answering these questions, you have to concentrate on some assumption of the author. First type of question, they will ask you find the assumption. Find the assumption. And question will be framed like this. In the above passage, what author has assumed, and then they will give you four options. I repeat the question. In the above passage, what author has assumed, and then they will give you the options. Or suppose the passage consists of, or argument consists of two paragraphs, they can ask you in second paragraph what author has assumed, and then they will give you options. And I hope you understand now assumption. Assumption is the hidden thing, unstated thing, and that is assumed by the author to reach at conclusion with the help of premises. Second type of question will be flaw. Question like this: what is the flaw in the above argument? What is the flaw in the above argument? Now, what is the flaw in the above argument? What you will find in the option? what you will find in the option, or which option will be correct. Flaw means author to reach at conclusion has assumed something. Flaw is like that, that assumption is wrong. That particular assumption of the author is wrong. And since assumption is wrong, so conclusion is also wrong. And that is the flaw. Flaw is the mistake in assumption of the author. So in the option, the correct option will highlight that flaw in the assumption, and if that flaw is there, conclusion will be violated. I hope you understand this. Please write what you have to identify in flaw question. In flaw question, you have to identify the assumption of the author. I repeat, you have to identify the assumption of the author. And what you have to identify? You have to identify the wrong part, wrong thing in the assumption of the author. If that wrong thing is there, means conclusion will be violated. Conclusion will be weakened, or conclusion will be wrong. And that wrong part will be highlighted in the correct option. That wrong part will be highlighted in the correct option of the question. I hope you understand now. I hope you understand now. Third type of question will be evaluate. The wording of the question will be like this: which of the following will evaluate the passage above? Or through which of the following we can evaluate the passage above? Through which of the following we can evaluate the passage above? As I think you know evaluation. Evaluation means you have to see the conclusion from positive point of view and from negative point of view. So you have to find that option which will be a two-path option, One path will support the conclusion, other path will oppose the conclusion. I repeat again, in evaluation question, what you will find in the option? You will find an option which will be two path, or which will have two meaning. One meaning will support the conclusion, other meaning will oppose the conclusion. Or one part will support some assumption and then that will support conclusion also. Other part will oppose some assumption of the author, means in some way it will oppose the conclusion also. So you can write in evaluate question, that option will be correct, which will be a two-path option. One path will support some assumption of the author. One path will support some assumption of the author, or in a way that path will support the conclusion. Other path will oppose some assumption of the author, or in that way will oppose the conclusion. So these things you have to find in the correct option. Saloni Rasa, please repeat flaw. Flaw, I have told you that in the correct option, in correct option, something related to the wrong part of the assumption of the author will be written. Wrong thing of the assumption of the author will be written. If that wrong thing is there, conclusion will be violated. Conclusion will be violated. Conclusion will be violated. Okay. Now, fourth type of question is strengthening argument. Evaluate Pooja Bharti, I have repeated so many times. Okay, again write. In evaluate type question, that option will be correct. That option will be correct, which will have two type of meaning. One type will support some assumption, and in turn that will support conclusion also. In turn that will support conclusion also. And other part or other meaning will oppose some assumption of the author, and in turn that will oppose conclusion also. In turn that will oppose conclusion also. Akanksha Jha, in flow question, option will highlight the wrong part of the assumption of the author. I am coming to the example, Shivani Meena. I am coming to the question also. Please have some patience. First, do some writings. Now, next is a strengthening argument. How question will be written or how question will be framed. Question will like this: which of the following, if true, will support the argument above? I repeat, which of the following, if true, will strengthen the argument above? Or which of the following, if true, will support the argument above? Or will support the conclusion above? Question like this. Obviously, you will look for that option which will support some assumption of the author, or in that way which will support conclusion of the passage. So in a strengthening argument, you will look for that option which will support some assumption of the author, and in that way which will support conclusion of the argument. Okay. I repeat again, in a strengthening argument, you have to find that option which will support some assumption of the author, and in turn that will support the conclusion of the argument. That will support conclusion of the argument. Sometimes they will frame question like this: justify the argument. Means which of the following will justify the argument above? Which of the following will justify the argument above? Which of the following will justify the argument above? Same thing. You have to find that option, or that option will be correct, which will support some assumption of the author, or in that way support conclusion of the argument. Support conclusion of the argument. Yes, Rajneesh Kumar, I have taught. I have taught. Yes, Anush, something like that. And the fifth one will be weakening argument. Weakening argument. Question will be framed like this: which of the following, if true, will weaken the argument above? Or which of the following, if true, will weaken the conclusion above? Which of the following, if true, will weaken the argument above? Or question will like, which of the following, if true, will weaken the conclusion above? Just opposite of a strengthening argument. You have to look for that option which will weaken some assumption of the author, or in turn it will weaken the conclusion. it will go against the conclusion of the argument. Yes, Disha, yes. Yes, Praful Rajput, yes. So generally, these 5 type of question are related to assumption family. Why assumption family? Because uh, answers are tied or related to some assumption of the author. That's why these questions come under assumption family. This question come under assumption family. I hope you have written what I have told you. Yes, Parag Bhosle. Rajnish Kumar, please recall me in the last. In weakening argument, just opposite of strengthening, you have to find that option which will go against some assumption of the author, or in that way go against conclusion. In that way, go against conclusion. Neha Rana, when we talk about evidence family of questions, then I will talk about inference. So please wait. Anu's flaw is you have to find flaw. You have to find flaw in assumption of the author. You have to find flaw in assumption of the author. And in weakening, you have to find that option which will weaken some assumption of the author, or in that way will weaken the conclusion of the author. Arokya Mary, this is the Neha Rana. I will talk about inference when we talk about evidence family questions. So don't worry. Rajnish Kumar, you can take the screenshot of this. You can take a screenshot of this, Rajnish. Rajnish Kumar, you can take also a screenshot of this. Be fast. Deepu Sharma, evaluate. Okay, I am repeating evaluate. In evaluate question, you have to find that option which will have two meaning, or you can say two path, PATH, two path. One path will support some assumption, and in turn that will support conclusion. I repeat, one path will support some assumption of the author, in turn that will support conclusion, and other path will go against some assumption of the author, and in turn that path will go against conclusion. I hope you have written. Now, second family of question, that is called evidence family. I will come after doing some question of assumption family. See, wording of question may be something different, but they are very much close to these type of questions. Okay. So first we'll do some question of assumption family, then we'll talk about other family also. So I'm giving you the first question. One more thing. While attempting the question, you have to apply four-step approach. The four-step approach is what? Step one, identify the question. What question demands means what you have to find, what you have to find in option, what you have to find in option. So identify the question. Second, deconstruct the argument means try to find components of the argument. Second step. And third step, similar to first step, that is be clear what you have to find in option. What you have to find in option. And fourth step, start try to find wrong option, and ultimately you will have right option. So work from wrong to right. Work from wrong to right. I repeat again the step. Please write while answering critical reasoning question. Four steps are there. You can write step one, identify the question. I repeat, step one, identify the question. Step two, deconstruct the argument means find the component of the argument. Third thing, be clear what you have to find in option, correct option. Be clear what you have to find in option. Step three. Step four is work from wrong to right option. Work from wrong to right option. Step four. Praful Rajput, weakening argument. You have not written. I am again repeating, right? I am again repeating. In weakening argument question, you have to find that option which will go against. I repeat, you have to find that option which will go against some assumption of the author, which will go against some assumption of the author, and in that way it will go against conclusion of the author or conclusion of the argument. So you have to find that option which will go against the conclusion of the author. Step again I am repeating, please concentrate. Step one is identify the question. Identify the question means whether the question is of flaw or evaluation or strengthening argument or weakening, like that. So first step is identify the question. Second step is deconstruct the argument means find the component of the argument. Deconstruct. Step third is set the goal. What you have to find in option. Set the goal in your mind. What you have to find in option. That is third step. And fourth step is work from wrong option to right option. Work from wrong option to right option. I hope you will now have written. Ria, again you are asking for a strengthening argument. A strengthening argument question, in that you have to find that option which will support the conclusion. Just write one line. You have to find that option which will support the conclusion. Which will support the conclusion. I hope you have written. Okay, I am coming to one question. First we'll do question of assumption family. This is the question. Try to do this question. Question is methyl tetrachloride MTC is a chemical found in some pesticide, glues and sealants. Exposure to MTC can cause people to develop asthma. In order to halve the nation's asthma rate, the government plans to ban all product containing MTC. Now question is, the government's plan to halve the nation's asthma rate relies on which of the following assumption? This is the question. Devasis, Dubey and Risa, your answer is correct. So try to involve all the 4 steps. Take some time, no issue. Take some time, I am giving you time. Take some time. CR process is 4-step process, ROK Mary. 4-step process, which I have to. CR means critical listening. Devasis Dubey, Risa, Arvind Kumar, Lorina Sihar, Naveen Rai. Correct answer. Akhil Meram, Deepak Nair, Abhishek Kumar, Ashish Gorian. Correct answer. Anubhav Sharma, not correct. Mitendra Kumar, correct answer. Spurs, Nisha Kumari, Tanya Sri, Nikhil Kumar Pandey, Bhavya, Pooja Kumari, Sakshi Singh, correct answer. Pooja Kumari, not correct. Kumar Amandeep, correct answer. Vibhuti Makwana, correct answer. Nisa Patel, Priya Tomar, correct answer. Please write your answer in Dhruv sir chat. Some people are writing Dhruv Singh chat. Punit Yadav, Kajal Singh, correct answer. Rishi Pandey, not correct. Nilanchal Singh, not correct. Tirtharaj Mitra, correct one. Khushbu Jindal, correct one. Sneha Burman, correct one. Astha, only one answer will be correct, not 2. Nandini Raj, correct one. Purnima Misra, correct one. Manorma Raj, Ritu Yadav, Neha, not correct. Harsh Kaushik, not correct. Akanksha Gharana, not correct. Himanshu Shweta Gupta, Saloni Rai, not correct. Himani Avinav Raj are correct. Aarti Rajak, not correct. Pratakshi, not correct. Nitish Gupta, Chandan Gupta, correct one. Pooja Kumari, correct one. Karan Sinha, not correct. Neha, not correct. Rishi Pandey, Sevanaj, correct answer. So many answers are there. I cannot take all the names now. Akanksha Jha, your answer is correct. Okay. Akanksha Gharana, correct answer. So many answers are there now. Answer is A. A is the correct answer. So please check your answer. Answer is A. A is the correct answer. So please check your answer. I am explaining this for those students who have not attempted or who have not found correct answer. See, MTC is a chemical found in some pesticide, glues and sealant. Exposure to MTC can cause people to develop asthma. In order to halve the nation's asthma rate, the government plans to ban all products containing MTC. So the government plan to halve the nation's asthma rate relies on which of the following assumptions? So obviously, what is the assumption of government? What is the assumption of government that you have to find? And government plan is to halve the nation's asthma rate, and that relies on which of the following assumption. So go through this argument and see what could be the assumption of the government. See, in order to halve the nation's asthma rate, the government plans to ban all product containing MTC. Means government assume that at least half of the case is related to exposure to MTC. So obviously government assumption is exposure to MTC can cause at least half causes. And C, that is the answer A. And that's why answer A is correct. Why B is not correct? Product containing MTC are not necessary to prosperity of the American economy, not related to the question or even argument. So this is wrong. C, asthma has reached epidemic proportion. If government has assumed this, how it will help? If government has assumed C option, then how it will lead to half the nation's asthma rate? So C is not the answer. Exercise and proper nutrition are helpful in maintaining respiratory health. Suppose government has assumed this D option, how it will help government to half the nation's asthma rate? Okay, not the answer. E, dust mite and pet dander can also cause asthma. How it is related to the question? Or how, if government assume this, how government will halve the nation's asthma rate? So obviously A is the answer. I hope now you understand. Okay. Try this question. This is the question of flaw. Go slow, don't be fast, try to understand. Apply the 4-step process in the beginning. Later on, obviously, you will get the right answer after some practice. Devasis Dubey, correct answer. Shibangi Sen, not correct. Priya Hadar, not correct. Ritu Yadav, SS Dev, not correct. Sonia Chingam, not correct. Chingham, sorry. Ruchi Kumari, what you have written? Purnima Misra, not correct. Akanksha Gharana, Ruchi Kumari. Mohini Chauhan, Pooja Bharti, Lorina Siag, not correct. Ashish Gorian, not correct. Bhaironath Chauhan, Deepak Nair, Ankita Gautam, not correct. Aparajita Singh, not correct. Chanda Yaksan Hussain, not correct. Risa, correct answer. Risa, correct answer. Ankita Gautam, Himanshu Satakshi, not correct. Neha Soni, Vibhuti, Sriram, correct answer. Akash Keshav, Satakshi, Rajesh Kumar Soni, not correct. And Rajesh Soni, you have given 2 answers. Only 1 answer is correct. You have to find best possible answer. Nabeen Rai, Nisha Kumari, Astha, not correct. Tanayasri, correct one. Anand Priyansu, Seba Naz, not correct. Anushka Gopal, not correct. Shweta Gupta, correct answer. Imani, correct answer. Risa, correct answer. Ayaz Khan, correct answer. Avilasa Annu, correct one. Akanksha Jha, not correct. Priya, correct answer. So many answers are and many answers are there. Hundreds of answers are there. Please check your answer. Answer is D. Answer is D delta. Please check your answer now. D is the correct answer. Please check your answer. Now I am doing C. What argument says? Studies show that impoverished family give away a larger percentage of their income in charitable donation than do wealthy families. As a result, fundraising consultants recommend that charity direct their marketing efforts towards individual and family from lower socio-economic classes in order to maximize the dollar value of incoming donation. Okay, so this is fundraising consultant recommendation. Now, what is the question? Which of the following best explain why the consultant reasoning is flawed? See, the premise is first sentence, studies show that impoverished families give away a larger percentage of their income in charitable donation than do wealthy families. On the basis of this premise, fundraising consultant recommend that charity direct their marketing efforts toward individual and families from lower socio-income classes in order to maximize the dollar value incoming donation. Maximize the dollar value incoming donation. Now, question is asking for why the consultant reasoning is flawed. Now, for this, you have to see what fundraising consultant has assumed, because you have to attack the assumption of the fundraising consultant. Flaw means what? You have to identify the flaw in the assumption. Flaw in the assumption. So here we have to find flaw in the assumption of the fundraising consultant. What fundraising consultant has assumed? Fundraising consultant has assumed that since impoverished family are giving away a larger percentage of their income, that's why dollar value will be more from impoverished family. So percentage more means dollar value more. That is the assumption of the fundraising consultant. But this assumption is wrong. Why this is wrong? Suppose impoverished family annual income is $10,000. So impoverished family is suppose donating 25% of that, means $2,500 that particular family is donating. And in comparison to that, some rich family whose annual income is $1 lakh and that family is only contributing or giving 5% donation of 5% donation out of their 5% of their income as donation. So 5% of 1 lakh is what? $5,000. So percentage is less, but dollar value is more. And that way, fundraising consultant assumption is attacked, that more percentage of income does not mean more dollar value. Okay, now you can see the D option. Percentage of income is not necessarily indicative of absolute dollar value. I hope you understand it. You can go through other option also. Marketing efforts are only way to solicit charitable donation. How it highlights the flaw in the assumption. So this is not the answer. Not all important families donate to charity. How it affects or it highlights the error in the assumption of the recommend fundraising consultant. C. Some charitable marketing efforts are so expensive that the resulting donation failed to cover the cost of the marketing campaign. How it highlights the error in the assumption. So C is not the answer. And E option, people are more likely to donate to same causes which their friends donate. How it attacks the assumption of the fundraising consultant. So this is not the answer. So D is the right answer. Okay. Now come to second question. Try this question. Recently, the tuition at most elite private colleges has been rising faster than inflation. Even before these increases, many low and middle income families were unable to afford the full tuition cost for their children at these institutions of higher learning. With the new tuition increases, these colleges will soon cater solely to a student with affluent family backgrounds. Now, what question demands? Which of the following could it be most useful to determine in order to evaluate the argument? See, in this argument, last sentence is the conclusion. Evaluate means you have to inflation, bhavya inflation. Now evaluate means you have to find that option which will have two paths, meaning one path will support conclusion in some way and other path will oppose conclusion in some other way. Bhavya inflation, Debashish Dubey not correct, Purnima Misra not correct, Khania Shibangi not correct. Rishi Pandey, your answer is correct. So this is very difficult question. So take some time. Don't be in a hurry. Ashish Gorian, correct answer. Raj Singh Sengar, Manjeet Kumar, not correct. Lorina Sihag, not correct. Divyasri Patra, correct answer. Shivani Meena, not correct. Ashwini S. Krishna, not correct. Risa Lorina Sihag, not correct. Sneha Burman, correct answer. Lorina Sihag, not correct. Charmi Korea, not correct. Kajal, correct answer. Sriram, not correct. Lorina Sihag, Upend Darla, not correct. Saurabh Basre, correct one. Gopal, not correct. Rajneesh Kumar, not correct. Saurabh Basre, your answer is correct. Avinav Raj, Ayushi Sharma, Priya, Rajneesh Kumar, Shweta Gupta, not correct. Sakshi Singh, not correct. Rajneesh Kumar, not correct. Aditi, not correct. Sudhir Kumar, correct answer. Mr. Raj Singh Sanger, not correct. Nisi Naseem Malik, correct answer. Himansu, correct answer. Sevanaz, correct answer. Amrita Kumari, not correct. Kajal Singh, not correct. Preeti Sharma, correct answer. Ankita Gautam, correct answer. Kiran, Mohit, correct answer. So many answers are there now. Santu Kumar, not correct. So many answers are there. I cannot take all the names now. I am giving you the answer. Answer is E. Answer is E. Answer is E. Okay, Ravi Pandey. How answer is E? Just see. How answer is E? Recently, the tuition at most elite private colleges has been rising faster than inflation. This is premise because conclusion is the last line. Last line is the conclusion. So first line is premise. Even before these increases, many low and middle income families were unable to afford the full tuition cost for their children at these institutions of higher learning. So first two sentences are premises and the last third sentence is conclusion. With the new tuition increases, these colleges will soon cater solely to a student with affluent family background. Okay. Which of the following would it be most useful to determine in order to evaluate the argument? So I have told you what you have to find in the option. What is the goal? We have to find that option which will have two path meaning. One path will support conclusion, other path will oppose conclusion or go against conclusion. The first option, work from wrong to right. So first option, whether a student from affluent family are more likely to prefer public or private colleges. Now this option has two parts. Whether a student from affluent family are more likely to prefer public, first part. Second part is more likely to prefer private colleges. But in the argument, only talk about private colleges. Only talk is about private college, admission in private college, not about public college. So it is not connected. Also, it is not connected with the conclusion also, because question is with the new tuition increase, these colleges, means private colleges, will soon cater solely to a student with affluent family background. So how this is connected? Because public college is not there in the argument. Argument only talks about private colleges. So this is wrong. B option, whether a student from low and income family are qualified to attend elite private colleges. In argument, no talk about qualification. Suppose also this B option has two parts. If they are qualified, how this will affect the conclusion, or when the students are not qualified, how this will affect the conclusion. So B is not the answer. C, whether low income family are less likely to be able to afford tuition cost than middle income family. Now in the passage, in the argument, low and middle income family come under same group. There is no comparison between low and middle. They have not been treated as different group. They have come under same group, low and middle income family. And here in C option, they are comparing low income family with middle income family. So again, this is not the answer. Or in C option, again it has two paths. If low income family are less likely to be able to afford tuition cost than middle income family, if this is correct, how it will affect the conclusion? Because in conclusion, what is written, with the new tuition increases, these colleges will soon cater solely to a student with affluent family background. So here there is no distinction between low and middle income. So it will not affect this conclusion. D option, wait, Akshat Rohila. D option, whether tuition costs at elite public colleges have also been rising faster. Again, public colleges, there is no talk about public colleges in the argument. So D is not the answer. Obviously, E will be the answer. Why E is the answer? Whether grants or a scholarship are earmarked for students from economically disadvantaged family. Economically disadvantaged family include low and middle income family. Now, this option has two paths. First path is when grants and scholarship are earmarked for the student, obviously they will take admission in the elite private colleges, and this will go against the conclusion. This will go against the conclusion. Second path is when grants and scholarships are not available, obviously it will support the conclusion. It will support the conclusion. So E is the answer. So E, evaluate the conclusion. Okay. Akshat Rohila. If they are qualified, why so fee high? If they are not qualified, then there should be fee high. See, Akshat Rohila, in the passage, they are talking about the tuition fee. And what they are, the author is talking about, tuition fee is so high that the students from low and middle income family cannot afford. So it is talking about the tuition fee, not about the qualification. So how it will affect the conclusion? Obviously they are qualified, that's why they are seeking admission. No aspers grants C. This is related to conclusion because question is related to fee. Fee means money. That's why somehow it is related. When grants or scholarship are earmarked for the student from economically disadvantaged family, they will take admission. And when their grants or scholarship are not there, obviously they will not take admission because otherwise they don't have that much income. Their families are. Bhabya, whether is written, whether. I have explained, Sakshi Singh, if a scholarship are there, grants are there, grants from government are there, they can take admission because in the passage only talk is about the fee. And if grants or scholarship are not there, they will not take admission. So when they will not take admission, means that will support the conclusion. And when they take admission, that will go against the conclusion. Isika Goel, that I have discussed, a scholarship is something related to fee. Why a scholarship is given or grants is given to the students? Obviously, to compensate for fee. Arokya Mary, in tuition fee, how a scholarship will be provided? Oh, Arokya Mary, grants or a scholarship are provided by the government or by some other organization to take admission in many colleges. That you must be knowing. And here also in private colleges. Vishwajit Kumar, why option D is wrong? Public college is given, Vishwajit Kumar. In passage, they are talking about private elite colleges, elite private colleges. Mukul Gupta, what you have written? No, you don't need to assume anything. Whatever is written in there in the passage or the assumption of the author, what you see, according to that you have to find answer. No self-assumption, Mukul Gupta. Whatever is written in their passage, accordingly you have to answer. According to passage, you have to answer. Nitendra Kumar, scholarship or grants, something related to money. Obviously, relevant here. Nitendra Kumar, relevant here. Relevant to the question. Karan Sinha, evaluation means you are evaluating something. And I have told you in the question part also, in evaluation, what you will see, what you will look for. You look for that option which will be two paths. One path will support the conclusion and the other path will go against the conclusion. So we are evaluating conclusion here. Ishika Sonal coming. And I have told you answer also. A scholarship is somehow related to fee. So that is relevant to the question. Ishika Sonal. Yes, Avinav Raj, you have to practice this type of question. I will tell you how to practice. Yes, Mukul Gupta, yes. Okay, now come to other question like this. Try this question. This question is of weakening argument. No, Mukul Gupta. Try this question. This question is from weakening argument. Oh, just a minute. There is a problem with the screen. The Smithtown Theatre, which stages old play, has announced an expansion that will double its capacity along with its operating cost. The theatre is only slightly profitable at present. In addition, all of the current customers live in Smithtown and the population of the town is not expected to increase in the next several years. Thus, the expansion of the Smithtown Theatre will prove unprofitable. Which of the following, if true, would most seriously weaken the argument? Devashish Dubey, correct answer. Take some time, don't be in hurry. Abhishek Kumar, correct answer. Pooja Bharti, not correct. Risha Chahat Smriti, correct answer. Sneha Burman, not correct. Shivangi Sen, Nikhil Kumar Pandey, correct answer. Hariom Patel, not correct. Akash Kesar, Anushka, Neha Kumari, Spurs, correct answer. Himanshu, not correct. Anushka, correct answer. Vishal Sharma, correct answer. Nikhil Kumar Pandey, correct one. Sweta Gupta, not correct. Please write your answer in group search chat, Sweta and Nikhil Pandey. Sevanaj. Anushka, your answer is not correct. Aparajita Singh, correct answer. Sejal Mankani, not correct. Kajal, not correct. Priya Ishita Gupta, Aparajita Singh, correct answer. Akhil Meram, correct one. Mr. Raj Singh Sengar, Pooja Beniwal, not correct. Santanu Kumar, correct one. Swamini Gupta, Harshit Misra, Naveen Rai, Ritu Yadav, correct answer. Dipanshu Kumar, not correct. Muhammad Mahmood, correct answer. Please write your answer in groups or chat. Dipanshu Kumar, not correct. Palak Chaurasia, correct answer. Santanu Kumar, Nisa Kumari, correct answer. Anand Priyansu, correct answer. Sahil Khan, not correct. Ankita Gautam, Dipanshu Kumar, not correct. Tanya Sri, Pooja Sharma, Santanu Kumar, correct one. Ravi Pandey, Sudhir Kumar, Dipanshu Kumar, not correct. Akanksha Gharana, correct answer. Santanu Kumar, I have told you your answer is correct. Arvind Kumar, correct answer. Vibhuti Makwana, not correct. Akanksha Gharana, Naveen Kaur, not correct. So many answers are there. Now I am giving you the answer. Rajesh Kumar Soni, Ashish Gorian, Anushka, correct answer. Bhayonath Chauhan, not correct. Shweta Gupta, not correct. Rishi Pandey, not correct. Praful Rajput, correct answer. So I am giving the answer. Please check your answer. Answer is D. D is the correct answer. Akanksha Jha, your answer is correct. Satakshi, correct answer. So please check your answer. I have not taken all the names. Many answers are there. Many answers are there. Okay, many answers are there. I have not taken some names. So please check your answers. Seva Naj, hundreds of answers are there. That's why I have given the answer, because I cannot take all the names. So it will take more time to take all the names. I have taken some names. Okay, now I am explaining. Please concentrate. The Smithtown Theatre, which stages old play, has announced an expansion that will double its capacity along with its operating cost. The theatre is only slight. See, the first sentence is like background. The first sentence is like background. I am just deconstructing the argument. Question is of weakening argument. So I am following the step. Step one, I have identified the question that is related to weakening argument. Now I am deconstructing. I am deconstructing the argument. The first sentence is background, and the last sentence, thus the expansion of Smithtown Theatre will prove unprofitable. That is conclusion. The last line is conclusion. Now see the second sentence. The theatre is only slightly profitable at present. That is premise. In addition, all of the current customers live in Smithtown, and the population of town is not expected to increase in the next several years. This is again premise. So first sentence is background, second and third is premise, and fourth is conclusion. So I have deconstructed the argument. I have deconstructed. Third step is set the goal. What you have to find in option. Obviously, we have to find in option which will weaken the argument, means which will go against the conclusion. Go against the conclusion means you have to find that option which will help a Smithtown Theatre to be profitable, because conclusion is unprofitable. So you have to find that option by which theatre will be profitable. That will weaken the conclusion, obviously. Okay. Now the first option, a large movie chain plans to open a new multiplex location in a Smithtown later this year. Now, a Smithtown theater is slightly profitable at this moment, and some other movie chain comes to the Smithtown. Obviously, this will dent the profit of already existing theater. So, prove unprofitable. This conclusion is strengthened by option A. A gives support to the conclusion, so that is not the answer. We have to find weaken. B, concession sale in the Smithtown theater comprise a substantial proportion of theater revenue. Concessional sales is there and expansion is there. So more concession or some concession is there. So through which obviously theater will be unprofitable. So some way it support the conclusion. So this is not the answer. C, I am working from wrong to right. Many recent arrival to Smithtown are students and that are less likely to attend the theater than our older residents. So the new arrival which are students are less likely to attend. So obviously the customer base of theater will not improve. Obviously this C option is supporting the conclusion. So this is not the answer. Now coming to option E, the board of the theater often solicits input from resident of the town when choosing which shows to stage. Okay, agree with this, but how it will affect the revenue? Already revenue is there. How this option will improve the revenue? It will not improve the revenue because current customer base is already there for the theater. So this will not improve the revenue. So some way it is supporting the conclusion. Now what is left? D option. So D option is the correct answer. Now what is D option? The expansion would allow a Smithtown theater to stage larger, more popular show that will attract customers from neighboring town also. Obviously, current customer base is the residents from the Smithtown, but expansion would allow the theater to stage larger and more popular show that will attract more customers from neighboring town, and this shows that through this the theater will become profitable or may become profitable. Obviously, D option goes against the conclusion, so it weakens the conclusion. Obviously, D is the right answer. D is the right answer. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand. So you have to work on each option. You have to work on each option. In beginning, you take some more time, but if you do some practice, it will take less time. Lisa Rana, why not C option? Lisa Rana, C option. Many recent arrival to a Smithtown theater, Smithtown are students that are less likely to attend the theater than our older residents. So the students are coming and they are not contributing to the additional customer base of theater. Means revenue will not increase. Revenue not increase. So obviously this support the conclusion the theater will prove unprofitable. Upendra Darla, I will give you, Mukul Gupta, some question for practice. I will give you some question. Upendra Darla, E, the board of Smithtown Theatre often solicit input from residents of the town when choosing which show to stage. But how it will improve the customer base of the theatre? Already existing residents are the customer of that theatre. How it will improve? So some way it is supporting the conclusion. I will share PDF. I will share PDF. Disha. Deepak Anand, what's the problem? I am taking all the options one by one. Try to understand. See, this is verbal ability. This is verbal ability means you have to be comfortable in language also. You have to be comfortable in language also. You have to understand the language, what is written here, what is the meaning here. Unless until you don't understand the meaning, you cannot answer. And you have to also understand the logic behind the passage. This is very small passage. That's why I'm calling this argument. In comprehension, there will be passage consisting of more words or more paragraphs. Deepak Anand, what you are not understanding? Which option? Gagandeep Kumar, it will take some time. When you understand the technology and trick, you will do it faster. You will do it faster. Deepak Anand, your answer is not coming. You are not clear about which option or what. Deepak Anand, I have tried explaining all the options. Yes, Mukul Gupta, yes. Deepak Anand, Deepak Anand, you see, this is verbal ability. You have to understand the language also. You have to understand the language also. And I have tried explaining the logic behind the argument, like component of the argument, what type of questions are asked, what assumption is, assumption family I have discussed, how answer can be attempted that I have discussed. Then I am trying to answer. It will take some time because this is verbal ability. You have to be comfortable with the language also. In one day, you cannot improve language. It will take some time. Deepak. Anyway, I am sharing PDF. Go through the topic again. Solicit input means take input from the residents. Okay. I will do more question tomorrow. And also I will discuss evidence family question. Tomorrow. So that's all of today's class. Thank you. I'll continue this tomorrow in the evening class, 6:30 to 8:30. I'll discuss this tomorrow in the evening class, 6:30 to 8:30. In morning, I am doing this numeracy part. So thank you for today. See, this is verbal ability. You have to be comfortable in language. Otherwise, you have to practice. I am giving you technology, how to attempt question. This is not like maths. Mukul Gupta, I will share some question along with this PDF. Morning, I am doing numeracy. Pooja Kumari, you are taking this year exam or next year? I have told earlier that go through my class and do practice from some previous year paper, especially 2015 onwards. Yes, tomorrow morning I am taking numeracy class. In evening I am taking this class. Deepak Anand, I will do some passage question of previous year paper. I will do in this class. So don't worry. I will do some previous year passage in this class. Deepak Anand. I will cover in 4-5 classes, Akanksha ja, no issue. Priya, answer is available. Answer is available. So, okay, I am talking to management, Sebanaj. No, Mukul Gupta, trigonometry is not in syllabus. Timing of morning class is 9 to 11. But this is that class is not for July batch of North Campus. You have already done. If you are from July batch of North Campus, then you have already done those topics. Muhammad Mahmood, I am taking Saturday and Sunday classes only. Some extra classes will be there in weekday that will be communicated to you. Rajnish, they try to assess that whether a student understand the passage or not. I will tell Priya in the last, I will tell Priya, I will tell. Yes, Dipanshu. This is the first class, Manorama Raj. This is the first class. Ajadur Rahman, I am trying to finish maximum syllabus. Yes, leave. Mahmood, right now I am taking Saturday, Sunday classes. If on weekdays I will take, that will be communicated to you and that will not clash with any existing class. That will not clash. Yes, Mukul Gupta, yes. Thank you for today. Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. In evening, I will continue with this. In morning, Muhammad Mahmood, I have told you, I am taking only weekend classes. Taking classes on weekends. Muhammad Mahmood, I am taking classes on weekends. If I take classes in weekdays also, then that will not clash with your any of the classes, existing classes.